Hi, welcome to today's video. So today's video is basically a sort of what's new in makeup style of video. More specifically, what are the latest blush releases? I feel like this year there's been so many blush releases and almost every brand is bringing out different versions, creams, serums, new powder blushes, baked blushes. Like blush is basically having a big moment right now, and I feel like a lot of brands have come out with new releases in the blush category this year. And also in the last few weeks itself, I saw a few of them. So I thought we could just kind of go through a few of the latest blush releases that have come out in the last few weeks and which are basically going to be coming out pretty soon in the next few weeks. And yeah, I personally really love blush, but I kind of feel like it's just too much right now. There's just so many blushes, so many different types of formulas. So I'm kind of reaching a saturation point where when it comes to buying blush, now I have to kind of think a little bit, because there's only those, a limited number of shades that you can potentially come out with. Like eventually some shade or the other is going to look very similar on the face, however different they might look, in the packaging or something. Yeah, eventually on the face, there's only so many types of blush shades that you can wear. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy the number of formulas and colors and everything that's been coming out. So the first product that I basically came across, and which I think is releasing on the 30th of May, is from Haus Labs, and Haus Labs by Lady Gaga. So they basically have a very nice powder formula for blush, and I've not tried it personally, but I've heard really good reviews. I do want to eventually try the powder blushes. They did re-release them. I think they first came out as a sort of limited edition release, and now they're actually planning to release a new blush balm stick, which is called the Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm Stick. And they basically have like very interesting shades. They have like a bright orange, they have a bright pink, and yeah, I think the colors generally look as interesting as their powder blush shades. Like their powder blush, I like the color ranges in the powder blush formula. They do tend to look really nice, bright, vivid, and generally they just make me want to buy them. And I think the shades in this particular balm stick are also kind of nice and bright and cheerful and fun colors. And of course they do have, I think, one or two nude everyday type of shades as well. So this one, I think they are pricing it at like $34, which is a little bit up there in price, especially for cream products. Because I don't know, I feel like cream products, I usually want to spend too much money on cream products because they tend to spoil faster. So many a times I kind of refrain buying very expensive cream products unless, the formula is, they claim to be like super awesome and they have like really good positive reviews. I generally shy away from expensive cream products. I do tend to stick to drugstore, like, Moira and Milani. The cream formulas are really great and they generally do the trick. And also Hard Candy has like another cream blush, which is more of like a gel serum-y type of formula. So those formulas do tend to work really well, and because they're just a couple of bucks, even if you don't finish them off, it's okay to kind of, you don't feel too bad throwing them away once they go bad, versus spending $34 on a cream product which might just get spoiled like after 12 months. So yeah, so that's the only thing that's stopping me from actually buying this new release from Haus Labs. But yeah, do let me know if you plan to pick this up. And yeah, and if you're watching this video after the 30th of May and you've actually got your hands on the product, if you like this, do let me know. Yeah, so that's one of the new releases that caught my eye, and I thought, okay, wow, that looks interesting. But at the same time, I have to take a step back and sort of think about if I really want to spend $34 on a single blush cream stick or not. And many times the cream products also, they don't, the packaging is nothing special in my opinion. Even the higher end brands, for example, I have a Pat McGrath blush stick, which the packaging is just okay. So in the end, I feel like either you are paying that extra premium just for the brand name and not even the packaging, or maybe the formula is that great. The Pat McGrath one, I like the formula, but I don't think it's like that much more superior to any of the drugstore cream products that I've tried. So Yeah, so that's another reason why I'm sometimes a little hesitant to spend too much money on cream products, because the packaging is just very basic for the most part, for most of them. Powder products, on the other hand, sometimes you get very beautiful packaging. So it kind of makes a little bit of sense for me sometimes to spend that extra money on a higher end powder blush. The next blushy type of product that I found that's coming out, I think it's already out, is basically from Bare Minerals. And they've come out with the Complexion Rescue Liquid Bronzer. Now, I think a couple of years ago, and maybe even last year, they sort of re-released the powder bronzers. They basically are like a combination between a bronzer and a blush, and most of the shades were kind of very earthy colors, basically, because it's like a mix of, like, you know, a pink or a red with the brownish hue of a bronzer. So those shades, the powder products did look really nice. I mean, I saw a lot of people raving about them. I particularly wasn't drawn in by any of the colors, so I didn't pick it up. And now they've actually released like the liquid version of those bronzers, and they come in like, I think, 5 different shades. And from the pictures, it looks like they look more like peachy toned and pink toned highlighters versus bronzer. They tend to have quite a lot of shimmer, and I don't know, from the swatches, they almost look like they can be extremely shiny on the cheeks to be used as a blush. And they look more like, you know, pinky and coppery style highlighters, liquid highlighters to me. Let me know if you've tried this. The formula is supposed to be a gel cream formula, and oh yeah, actually in the details of the product, they do say that it combines the glow of a highlighter with a flush of blush in one step. So yeah, there you go. It is more of a highlighter blush hybrid versus a bronzer and a blush hybrid, although they've kind of still named this as a liquid bronzer. I don't know. Anyway, so this product, it's not really appealing to me so much. It does look very shiny, and currently I do have quite a few liquid products which are like glowy and bronzy and dewy, so I don't think I'm going to be picking this up. But most of the time, Bare Minerals does come out with really good products, so I'm guessing the quality of this might be pretty good. The actual application and how it would look on the skin, I'm not sure, because it seems to be, like I said, very shiny. So more like a, I don't know, I think it looks more like a liquid highlighter to me than a blush bronzer highlighter hybrid or whatever it is that they're claiming. So yeah, that's another new release which I came across. Now the next one is actually from a clean beauty brand, which is basically Kosas. And I've always been tempted to buy products from Kosas, but at the same time, I always read and see videos where people say the products go bad in like 2-3 months, and that's because they don't use much preservatives, being a clean brand. So that kind of makes me hesitant to try anything from them, including their powder products, because I even heard like their powder bronzers and face powders and everything do tend to spoil fast as well. And since I have quite a few powder products in general, I tend to, you know, have quite a bit, and I like my products to last a bit longer because I like to cycle through them. And this just basically doesn't fit my makeup lifestyle. So yeah, if you are the sort of person who just uses a single product, like a single blush or a single powder, then yeah, maybe Kosas products might work for you. But yeah, here, this particular release from them has been extremely tempting to me because of, you know, how beautiful it looks. They basically look like really pretty baked blushes, and they come in a variety of really beautiful shades, like from peachy shades, pinky shades, mauve, and also very more like a neutrally type of shade. So overall, I like how this particular blush release looks like. I think they're priced at like $29, which I think is very much the typical Kosas brand pricing. Yeah, so like I said, this particular release from Kosas, although I know that maybe these blushes are not going to last more than a year, they might go bad, I'm still kind of tempted to pick them up because the shades look really fun. But at the same time, actually looking at this, it reminds me a little bit of the Essence baked blushes, which are like just $5 or $6. And yeah, I think a lot of the shades do look like you can sort of dupe it with the Essence baked blushes. shades which are more in the peachy and pinky type of shades, because I think the Essence ones do have different shades of pink as well, and different shades of that more of a reddish undertone blush. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I can actually dupe some of the shades in this with the Essence ones, which are just like $5 or $6. And the Essence one, I do have one baked blush which I picked up last year, and it's still going strong. So yeah, those tend to last a little bit longer, I feel. So yeah, let me know if you're picking up this Kosas one. I think I'm not sure when they're releasing the product, but it just says coming soon on their website. And yeah, it's priced at $29. So yeah, just now, revisiting the picture, I feel like these do look very similar to the Essence baked blushes. So let me know if you're picking this one up, or if you feel maybe the Essence one would just do the job anyway for $5. So yeah, that's another one which I came across. Now, another new release which I came across this week was from Nabla. Now, this is something that I'm actually very, very tempted to pick up. I hope these come to Ulta. I don't know if they've come to Ulta yet. I did see them on Nabla's website. This is the new close-up blurring powder blush. And they come in really nice, bright, vivid colors. They have like a bright pink. They have the cool tone pink, which is the Dior blush dupe, basically. And they have like more corally shades. They have mauve. They have like a nice punchy red shade. Yeah, a cherry red shade. So yeah, they look really interesting, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to trying some of Nabla's products. It's kind of been a brand where I wanted to try a lot of things, and I don't know, I just keep forgetting about it. I did try like an eyeliner from Nabla, which I really, really like. It glides on super smooth, super easy to use. And I've heard good things about their baked gelée style blushes and bronzers and highlighters. So maybe I might do like an order from Nabla sometime, trying out even their cream blushes. I've heard good reviews of a lot of their products. So maybe I will probably pick this blush up. And right now, I think if you are actually, yeah, you can order it even from the US. On Nabla's website, the new release is currently 20% off. So that puts it at something like 18 euros, which might be like some $19 or something, which I think is a pretty good price. And most of Nabla's products are made in Italy as well. So that's another positive. So I think Nabla's new blush release is something that I might eventually pick up. So that's something that has kind of piqued my excitement a little bit. Like I was saying, there's just so many new blush releases that, you can kind of get a bit fatigued with, all of them, because they do tend to come out like almost every week. You have some brand releasing some different type of blush, like either a cream formula or a powder formula. So yeah, after a point, you basically have to use a very critical eye to decide what you want to try. Now, the other new release which I saw, which I think hasn't been released yet, but it's come up on Sephora's website, is from Lawless. So Lawless is releasing the Pinch My Cheeks Soft Blur Cream Blush. Now, these cream blushes, I like the shade range. They look very nice. I think they're like a total of 6 different shades. 3 shades which are more of like towards the pink leaning side, and 3 of them which are more of like a dusty rose and peachy type of shades. So they have covered a decent spectrum. Now, the only thing is these blushes, the cream blushes, the first thing I thought about when I saw this, is basically the Moira cream blushes. They basically have the same, similar squarish packaging with the round pan, and I really enjoy the Moira, the formula from Moira. The cream blushes are really, really nice. They're very easy to blend. They're very easy to work with. Overall, they're very nice products. They're very, very pigmented as well. So yeah, so again, do you want to spend $29 on the Lawless blush, which again is a clean brand, so I'm not sure how long the shelf life is going to be. So yeah, I think the Moira blushes have like an 18-month shelf life. So yeah, with cream products, I tend to be a little bit more strict with the shelf life because they just tend to generally spoil faster. Powder products, I tend to keep them as long as they kind of smell fine and they look fine. So that's how I basically, keep track of things in my collection. So yeah, so the Lawless one, it looks pretty, but I don't think I will buy it at full price, because I think the same shades in this range can maybe be duped by Moira. Moira has like a huge range of colors for their cream blush. So I'm pretty sure you could find dupes in Moira for the Lawless release. Now, another release which I'm actually very excited about, and it's from the drugstore, is from L'Oreal. So L'Oreal has, I think, it's called the L'Oreal Paris True Match Lumi Le Liquid Blush. And these blushes, what I like is that they've kind of put in a doe foot applicator versus the sponge tip, which everyone is doing these days when they try to release a liquid blush product in the drugstore. I'm very happy that they have a doe foot because I hate the sponge tip. I have one product which is a sponge tip and it just leaks and it's just messy and gross. So yeah, I am very happy with the packaging of this one. And this one, I think they've come out with two different finishes of this liquid blush. They have something called like the dewy finish, and they have something called, within the same range, they call it the shiny finish. The dewy and the glowy finish. Now, I don't know how different it is from the pictures. It looks like the glowy finish has some mica or glitter, and the dewy one, I mean, it just looks like probably like a soft matte type of formula. So the glowy formula actually has caught my eye because one of the shades, I think the shade True Rose, from at least the picture, it looks like it might be a dupe for Pinkgasm from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not sure, but in general, I kind of feel like trying this particular formula, and I might just pick it up. I might actually pick up either Gold Pink or True Pink, which are both in the glowy finish style. The dewy one, they have a rich coral, which also looks very interesting to me. So I don't know, maybe I'll pick one which is a dewy formula and one which is a glowy formula and try it out. These ones, I think they're releasing 1st of June, at least on Amazon. That's what they say. The item is basically on pre-order right now, and they will be released only on the 1st of June. And they're priced at like $12, which is kind of typical L'Oreal pricing, which is a little expensive because these do look kind of tiny. Let me see how many. Yeah, it has 0.33 fluid ounces, which is like 10 ml of product, which is okay for a liquid blush, I think. Yeah, so this is something that, like I said, I'm a little bit more excited to try compared to quite a few of the others. And the other product, which is also from the drugstore that really caught my eye recently, is from Milani. So Milani is planning to release, no, I think they actually have released it already. It's already up on their website. It's called the Cheek Kiss Cream Blush Stick, and they have it only in a single shade, and it's in the shade Luminoso. And I really like the powder version of Luminoso. I had it for a while, for like a really long time. I used to love it. I used it a lot. And I kind of got bored with it, so I decluttered it from my collection, but the actual product is very nice. Those are like really beautiful baked blushes. And the shade Luminoso, I did not find it to be particularly over glittery, but some of the other shades in that blush range do tend to be a little extra glittery. But yeah, Luminoso used to be really pretty and I really used to enjoy it. The cream stick version, from the swatch online, I'm not sure how close to the actual Luminoso it is. It kind of looks a little bit more peachy than the original Luminoso. If I remember right, the original one had more of a pinkish tone to it, or maybe it was a little peachy now that I think about it. But yeah, this one looks a little bit more peachy orange to me, at least in the picture. So yeah, this is another one which has again caught my interest, and maybe eventually if I see some good reviews, I might try it out. But for now, I think I'm going to hold back and not buy it. It's again priced at like $12. So similar pricing as the L'Oreal liquid blushes. So yeah, so out of all these new releases, I think I'm basically excited about the Nabla powder blush as well as the L'Oreal liquid blush. The rest of them, again, depends on reviews, depends on, you know, how unique they are. If somebody else tries it and they say it's really awesome, maybe I might consider it. But yeah, for the most part, the rest of them are probably a skip. So yeah, so those were basically some of the new blush releases that I came across recently, and I'm sure they're like more, especially from like the indie brands or some of the other newer brands which I've not heard of. It's just like, it's one big blush festival happening right now this year, at least the first half of this year. So let's see what eventually comes up in the next following weeks. I'm sure somebody else is going to come up with some other blush as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you again in another one. Bye.